Hi everyone, welcome to Yoga with Heini. I'm Heini and today we're going to do some leg stretches. I'll share my favorite, most effective leg stretches with you in this video. Let's get started. For these leg stretches, some props might be quite useful, like a strap or a belt and maybe a blanket or something else soft like a towel and possibly a chair. I'm going to use my bolster today, but a chair of some kind might be quite handy as well. So you could have these props next to you, next to your mat. And if you don't have some of these props, I made a video about what household items you can use as yoga props. It's on the channel, so you can check that out as well. Then let's get started with our stretches. We're going to start from lying down on the back, and this is where a strap or belt of some kind would be quite handy. So we're going to come lie down on the back and bring your right knee first towards the chest, towards the belly, and then bring the strap, the belt or scarf around the right foot and slowly lift the right foot, right leg up into the air. You can keep your left knee bent, or if you want, you could extend the left leg down, and that probably makes the stretch a bit more intense. So here we are looking at opening the back side of the right leg first. The right knee could be a bit bent, and we're going to give some movement for that right leg first. So hold the strap maybe with two hands now in the beginning, and just gently circle the right leg few times one way. You can keep the knee a bit soft here. And then after a few circles one way, change the direction. So going a few times the other way around. Just gentle movement before we do a bit longer stretch. And then after those circles, bring the right leg to the center, to a point where you feel there is a gentle stretch, gentle sensation at the back of the right leg. And then we're going to keep holding onto the strap with two hands. And now as you inhale, just gently think about kicking that right leg away from your chest and up towards the ceiling, trying to lengthen the right leg away from your chest, but still holding on to the strap. So now you're gently engaging through the back side. And then exhale, release that pushing with the leg, and with the strap, just gently help the leg a bit closer to the chest. So there's a new place for the right leg. We'll do same again from that new place. As you inhale, start to kind of lengthen, slightly reach the right leg away from the chest and up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, release that pushing, that reaching, and again, let the leg come just a bit closer to the chest. One more time, third time. Inhale again. Think about reaching that right foot away from the chest. Again, I'm holding on to the strap so the leg doesn't move a lot away from my chest. It's just engaging through the back line. And then again, as you exhale, release and maybe let the leg come just a bit closer to the chest. Take a few breaths here. Now check the shoulders are soft. Breathe down towards that right leg, down towards the belly. And then as you exhale, slowly bend the right knee. You can bring both knees closer to the chest and bring both feet into that strap and just rock from side to side a few times. And we're going to do this on the other side for the left leg. So now bring the strap to the left foot, bring your right foot down onto the mat and start to send your left foot, left leg up into the air. And again, we go into those circles. First, gentle movement. And you can guide those circles with the strap, using the arms. Again, the left knee could be soft. You can bend the left knee. And after a few circles one way, change the direction. And going around a few times. Releasing tension around the hip. And already here, releasing the back of the leg. And then again, we come back to the center, to a point where you feel now there is a gentle stretch, nothing too intense, at the back of that left leg. You can keep the right knee bent, or again, you can keep the other leg extended as well if you want on the mat. And then we start to do that gentle activation and release cycle in that left leg. So now as you inhale, start to, in a way, reach that left leg away from the chest up towards the ceiling. Again, I'm holding on to the strap so the leg doesn't go too far. There is that resistance coming through the belt, through the strap into the leg. And then exhale, release that reaching, pushing in the left leg. And with the strap, you can help the left leg just a bit closer in. Our new place, new edge. We're going to start from this new edge. Now, as you inhale again, start to push, reach that left foot, left leg away from the chest, giving that resistance with the belt. So don't let the leg travel too far. Feel the engagement, the activation in the back of the left leg. And then exhale again, release that pulling, pushing with the leg, and just gently help the leg a bit closer to the chest. One more time. Inhale from that new place, start to send your left leg up and away from the chest. Try to keep shoulders as soft as possible. Keep breathing. And then next exhalation, release that pulling, pushing in the leg, and let the leg come just a bit closer to the chest. And then we spend here a few breaths. Let the breaths move all the way down to the belly. And this stretch for the hamstrings, for the back of the leg, is really good lying down on the back, especially if you have any issues in the back, because we're taking away the element of stressing the back like we would in a standing forward bend. So really just getting into the legs here. It's safer for the back if you know you have any issues in the back. And then again, we're going to exhale, bend both knees, bring the knees to the chest, maybe both feet into that strap, and just again rock from side to side a couple of times. And then we're going to go back to the right leg, do a couple more stretches for the right leg here, lying down on the back. So again, move the strap to the right foot, and same beginning, lift the right leg up, left foot either on the mat or extend the left leg. And now bring both ends of the strap to your right hand. Inhale in the center, bring left hand to your left hip. And as you exhale, start to open that right leg out to the side. Now here, make sure you could keep your both buttocks on the mat. So left hand there can press the left hip, left buttock gently down, and you decide how far out to the side you want to go. Now we're looking for a stretch on the inside of that right leg. You might go all the way down so that you bring your right elbow on the mat, if that's a bit more relaxed place. Keep shoulders soft. I need to keep reminding myself of that as well, so don't lift the tension up. And take one more breath in and out here, and keeping the hips about in the same level. And then as you exhale, engage through the inner thighs a bit, through the core, and lift the right leg up to the center. And then move the strap to your left hand. Now right hand can just rest on the mat on the floor. And then as you exhale, cross that right leg slightly to the left side. And remember here as well, your left leg could be extended. And now don't let yourself twist too far with the spine. So we're still staying in the legs, looking for a stretch on the outside of the right hip, buttock, outside of the thigh. Take one more breath in and out here. Again, the right knee could be bent a bit. You don't need to fully straighten the leg. And then exhaling, lift the right leg up to the center. And bend both knees. One more time, bring both feet into that strap. Breathe in and out here, let the knees come close. And then lift foot in the strap. One more time, bring the right foot down or extend the right leg. Lift the left leg up, holding the strap with the left hand and right hand, keeping the right hip grounded. Inhale. And as you exhale, start to open the left leg out to the left side. And this is often a point where the right buttock would like to roll off the mat, but try to keep grounding down through that right buttock. The right hand is there to remind you. You could even actively press down through that right leg slightly. And again, you decide how far out to the side your left leg needs to come now. Could you find a bit of a stretch on the inside of that left thigh? Maybe groin area. Make sure it's not hurting in the hip or in the knee joint. So getting to the muscles. Take one more breath in and out here. And then as you exhale again, engage through the core, a bit through the inner thighs. Lift the left leg up to the center. Bring the strap to your right hand. Release the left hand down on the mat. And exhale, cross the left leg out to the right side. And maybe it goes just so that your left foot is in line with the right thigh. We don't need to go any further than that. Trying to access the outside of the left hip, left buttock, left thigh. I feel it all the way on the outside of the left shin. Take one more breath in and out here. Keep breathing all the time. It really, really helps. And then again, as you exhale, bring the left leg back to the center and bend the left knee. And now step your both feet on the mat. You can put your strap, your belt aside and do a couple of windshield wipers, just swinging the knees, the legs from side to side, softening any tension there might be. And then from those windshield wipers, roll down onto one side and bring yourself up onto knees, up into seat. We're going to go now to the front of the thighs, and this is where we're going to need a wall. So bring yourself next to a wall, and I'm going to bring a blanket under my knees just to keep it cushioning under the knees. So you can do the same if you want. And bring your right knee as close to the wall as possible so that your shin is against the wall. And from here, step your left foot onto the mat in front of you. And then we're going to start lifting the back up. This is where a chair or maybe a bolster of some kind might be quite helpful to lean onto with your hands. So you could have a chair here or a bolster just to support you. And now it's really quite intense stretch for the quads, for the front of the thigh. Keep your core engaged here, so you don't let your back collapse. then you're also losing the stretch in the quads. So keep bringing the pelvis slightly under. So thinking of a long line from hip to your pelvis, hip even down to the knee. So gently drawing in through the lower belly. And you decide if you bring yourself all the way upright, so how much you lean towards the wall. If there's a lot of tension in the quads, maybe start by leaning a bit forward. So don't force yourself next to the wall if it feels too intense. Again, here, a chair, a bolster could be quite useful so you can lean onto something. Of course, you can also lean onto your own thigh. And you have that option to be more upright. Another variation, if you want to continue, then start to lean a bit more forward. So you might bring a bolster or blocks maybe under the hands if you want, or bring hands all the way down onto the mat. But it goes to a slightly different part of the thigh, leaning forward. You can make sure you're breathing. You can take a few breaths here. And then the last variation of this pose is to start twisting, accessing more the outside of the thigh again. So now lean your right hand onto something, if you have your right leg on the wall, and then start to twist towards the left. You could even open that front leg foot slightly. So now the stretch shifts more to the outside of the thigh in that back leg. So you could add that twist towards the left, the front leg. Again, you could spend here a few breaths. And then we're going to start releasing the pose here. So you can lean onto your hands, bring the right knee on the mat, and then release that, left knee, and bring the right knee down. And if you want, just maybe rock from side to side a couple of times. And we'll do the same to the other side. So now I'm going to bring my left knee against the wall and really try to get your knee as close to the wall as possible, so the weight doesn't go into the knee cap so much, but more trying to get the weight to the top of the thigh. So really bring the knee as close to the wall as possible. So now I have my left shin on the wall, and from here I'm going to step the right foot onto the mat, and then we start to lift up again. Remember, you could have the chair, you could have the bolster here, so you can lean on to some support. And again, a bit of activation through the core so we don't let the back collapse. And maybe 5 to 10 breaths in each variation or on each side, depending on how many variations you want to do. So 5 to 10 breaths. And then after those 5 to 10 breaths, you could shift into the next variation. So from this pose, you could lean a bit forward, potentially keeping your body upright. So that lengthens more the front line. Or you might bring hands down. Maybe that's plenty enough. But shifting the pelvis a bit more down and forward from that upright pose. And you could spend 5 to 10 breaths in the next variation, and then go into the third one, which was the twisted variation. So here I start to now twist towards the front leg, and I'm going to open my right foot, that front foot, a bit. It just gives a bit more space for my front leg hip. But you don't have to do it. You might keep the foot closed. But again, I'm twisting and leaning a bit more to the outside of the left hip, and it shifts the stretch more to the outside of the thigh. Again, keep breathing all the time. Keep breathing. Helps the body to relax into that stretch. And then after 5 to 10 breaths, just slowly start to release the pose again. Bring some weight onto hands. I'll bring that right knee down. Release that left leg away from the wall. And again, you could just rock from side to side a bit. And then we're going to come into one more stretch. And now we're going to come lie down on the back. So this is again where we're going to need a wall. And we're going to bring our legs up onto the wall. So we're going to wiggle our pelvis as close to the wall as possible. So here your pelvis could be touching the wall. But of course, if already here you feel there's a big stretch in the hamstrings, then leave your pelvis a bit further away from the wall. Finding a starting point where you feel okay, there's nothing too intense yet here. And we're going to go into a pose called the figure 4. So it's a bit like a pigeon pose, but we do it on the wall. We're going to open now the left hip first and bring the left ankle somewhere below that right knee. So it's on the thigh, not pushing into the knee, but bring the ankle or foot onto the right thigh. And this could be plenty enough. So we're looking for some stretch in the left buttock, maybe left thigh, or like I said, you could feel it in the hamstring on the right leg side as well. If you need to go further, if you don't really feel anything here, then bend your right knee. So you slide that right foot along the wall, and this will most likely make the pose more intense for the left buttock, left thigh. And it could be that your pelvis comes off the mat. That's fine as long as there's no pain in the hips or in the back. If the pelvis comes off the mat and it's uncomfortable for the back, then bring a blanket or even a bolster under the pelvis. So you can always support the pelvis, like lifting the floor to the pelvis if it comes off the mat. And again, 5 to 10 breaths here will be plenty enough. And then to come away, just reverse the steps that you took to come into the pose. So straightening the right leg on this side, and then sliding the left leg up to the wall. You could shake the legs here a bit. And then we'll do the same to the other side. So now leave the left leg up and open the right hip. So again, ankle or foot on the left thigh. Make sure you're not pushing into the knee joint. And this could be, again, plenty enough. Or start to slide your left foot along the wall. Just coming to a point where you start to feel there's a stretch in the right buttock. So in that kind of figure 4 open leg side, buttock, maybe the thigh. If you feel that there's a pinch now in the right hip, when the right hip is open, you could use your right hand to slightly push the right knee away from the chest, kind of creating a bit more space in that right hip. Or even use something like a blanket in that right hip, so creating more space in the hip joint with a prop. And then again, after 5 to 10 breaths, slowly start to release the pose, straighten the leg that's on the wall, and then slide the other leg onto the wall. And this would be the final kind of resting, releasing pose for the legs. This pose is called legs up the wall pose. And it's really nice, especially after a long day on the feet. If you spend your day standing up, walking, it's a really, really nice releasing pose to get the feet up. Allow yourself to rest here a moment. And then when you're ready, when you feel you have rested there long enough, just slowly bend the knees, roll to one side to get yourself off the wall. And that's the practice for today. So those are some of my favorite stretches for the legs, going through the big muscle groups in the legs and around the hips. I hope you found that helpful, and if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to continue the chat. Bye. Thanks for watching. I hope you found that useful. If you did, click subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified of any new videos. I'll be posting lots more yoga related videos on this channel. I also teach online yoga classes, and if you're interested in those, you'll find more information in the description box below and on my website. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.